Hey guys, it looks like we're live. Let me know in the chat if you're able to see me, hear me, all the good stuff. And if you have any issues, please let me know. And we are going to get started in just a second. All right, so I'm going to come back over here. Thank you guys for joining me today. It looks like you're able to see me. Yeah, hello. So if you're here, please definitely sign into the chat. All you have to do is just put your name in and then you'll be able to chat with us. But I think the chat is just one of the most fun parts of these workshops because we get to hang out together and we get to chat. And you get to also meet a lot of the other people who are watching this webinar today. So type in the chat. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I've got my second screen over here so that I can see where everybody is watching from. It's one of my favorite things, especially with the 11 a.m. webinar, the one right now, is that there are people tuning in from all over the world. And I think it's just the coolest thing to be able to communicate and have this community of people who are everywhere and who are able to just learn about entrepreneurship and marketing together. So I love that. Can't see or hear. I'm getting mixed reviews. Looks like most people can see or hear. So if you're not able to, well, you probably can't see or hear this, but you want to refresh your computer or just refresh the video and then make sure the sound is on the video as well. Okay, so as I'm just waiting while everyone's typing in where they're from, I'm going to get my slides ready. I've got a really epic presentation for you. I've tweaked it with some things that are working right now for Pinterest and getting traffic to your website, literally things that I just implemented for my own students just a few days ago. So this is brand new stuff that I'm going to be sharing with you today about how to grow your traffic to your website. One of the most important things that you need to grow a business. Am I right? So I want to give a few shout outs here before we get started. We've got Sarah from Austin, Texas. Oh, thank you. You love my office. It's actually a work in progress. So I appreciate that. Still doing some work on it. Chelsea's from Phoenix. We've got Andrea from the south of France. How amazing. Melanie from Quebec. Amanda from Wisconsin. Laura from Florida. We've got somebody from Wales in the UK. We've got Shaylin from Ontario, Canada. Katie from Australia. So many people. Amazing to see all of you guys. Pauline from NYC, one of my favorite places in the world. I was just there last month, actually, speaking at a conference. So hello, everybody. I'm so glad you all could join me today. Really excited for what we're going to be chatting about. If this is our first time meeting, then hello. I'm Melissa Griffin. I'm the one that's been sending you all those emails, that loves to communicate with you on Instagram, that loves talking about marketing and entrepreneurship and creating a business that really fuels your passions. I love talking about living on purpose and creating a life that you don't feel like you have to escape from. So I hope today's presentation is going to help you get more eyeballs on the amazing work that you do in the world, that it drives more traffic to your website so you can sell more products, get more people reading your blog posts, and become a go-to hub for the types of things that you care about and the things that you want to impact the world with. So I am going to share my screen with you and you'll be able to see my slides. I love teaching with slide presentations, and don't worry, I like to make them fun as I'm going through, but I'm such a visual learner that being able to teach you with examples and text really, I think, just helps the information sink in even more. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get started. And like I said before, I love the chat. So make sure that you're part of the chat below so that we can all chat together. And so that if you've got any questions, you can ask them during this webinar. So I have my team in the chat while I'm presenting. They're going to be collecting your questions so that I can do a Q&A at the end. So if you stick around until the end, I'll be on live to answer any and all of your questions. So ask your questions throughout the presentation and I will answer them live at the end. So hopefully you're in the right spot. But today we're talking about 3 ways to use Pinterest to quickly grow your traffic and audience. That's me, Melissa Griffin, casually looking to the side, not not staged at all, my friends. So today I'm going to be sharing a few of my favorite tips from my program, Pinfinite Growth. And don't worry, at the end of this presentation, I'll also be able to answer any questions you might have about Pinfinite Growth. I know a lot of you have probably heard about it. So if you've got any questions about that program, happy to answer those at the end. But for now, I've got some very free tips from the program that are really going to help you. Some of my favorite things that I teach inside of Pinfinite Growth. So I got to lay the ground rules before we dive into the information. First is put your phone out of reach. Put that, just throw it to the side, get it out of reach, because it can obviously be very distracting to have. And this is important information you're going to get. And I like to be intentional with my time. So rather than like switching between Instagram and watching this and sending an email, just be here right now. You signed up for this workshop for a reason. Also, close out of other browsers and programs on your computer. So I highly recommend doing this because otherwise the video over time can become a little bit more choppy, or the sound might seem kind of weird, or it might get blurry. And you want to make sure that the video is operating perfectly. You don't want any of those things to happen. That's what can happen sometimes with a live video broadcast like this. And then, of course, take out your notepad and get ready to learn. I have a lot of information and tips and my own strategies that I want to share with you today. Now, you are in the right place if you want to grow your traffic and start attracting more of the right people to your site. You're also in the right place if you want clear, actionable strategies that are going to help you turn that traffic into lifelong subscribers and an engaged audience. Now, you're also in the right place today if you would love to have an audience that just eats up your content, that opens your emails and buys your products, people who are lifers, as I like to call them, people who just will stick around and stay by your side for years and years to come. You're also in the right place if you want to grow an email list and an audience efficiently and effectively, so that you can focus on other parts of your business. Raise your hand wherever you are in the world if you feel like this part of your business or your blog is the most time consuming. You're trying to get people to even just notice what you're doing, trying to grow an email list of those people, and just having like that community and that audience. I find that if you don't have a strategy in place, this part can take years if you don't know what you're doing. So I completely get that. Now, make sure you also stay tuned until the end of this workshop, because I'm going to tell you about how you can get a free Pinterest audit and laser coaching session. Yes, a free Pinterest audit and laser coaching session customized for you and your Pinterest. We're going to give you some really amazing tips, but you got to stick around till the end to figure out how you get that. So hello again, I'm Melissa Griffin. I'm so excited and thrilled and honored to be here with you. This is one of my favorite things to do. I love teaching. I actually used to be a teacher years ago before I started my own business. I think I was destined to be a teacher because I just love it so much. And I love helping people live on purpose and live in their purpose. So if I can help you in some way today, make that a reality for you and grow your business and your blog and do something that matters to you, then I feel like my work is worth something. So thank you for helping me do that. Now, my Pinterest trainings have been featured in places like Inc., Entrepreneur, Forbes. I'm also part of Pinterest Creator Collective, which basically means that I have first name access with a lot of people on Pinterest team, or I can just shoot them an email, ask them about algorithm changes and best practices, and be able to get the latest information from Pinterest and Tailwind, if you've heard of Tailwind too. I've also created a program called Pinfinite Growth, which has almost 8,000 students who have gone through this Pinterest training, but it teaches you all about how to use Pinterest to grow your traffic, your audience, and your email list. Now, I want to know if you can relate. So if you can relate to any of this, I want you to type a big yes into the chat. So type a big yes if you can relate to any of this. So for me, 5 years ago, my job and my life left me feeling like I wasn't utilizing my full potential. I just didn't feel like I was doing all that I could in my life. I knew that I was meant for more. So type yes in the chat if you've ever felt that way. Or I was also very lonely and disconnected from my people. I was starting a business where most of my friends were still working in corporate jobs or they were working as teachers. And I just didn't really know anybody who was trying to do their own business too. So I felt really lonely and disconnected, especially from the creative visionaries that I was trying to surround myself with. And I honestly felt it was one of the most depressed times in my life. I remember just waking up to do another day of something that I didn't love doing, going to a job and waking up at 6 in the morning for something I just wasn't passionate about. So I felt really depressed at that time. It was really hard for me. So type yes in the chat if you've ever felt that way or if you feel that way now. I'm seeing so many yeses, and I just want to thank you for your honesty and recognize where you're at right now. I completely get that. It's a hard place to be. So at that time, when I was feeling that way about 5 years ago, I decided to start a business. And really, it was meant to find a community of people with similar interests and hopefully to make a little bit of side cash. I didn't ever expect to even have enough money in my business to quit my job as a teacher. It was just meant to be this kind of hobby, this fun thing. But it started to go pretty well. And I want to tell you a little story about that. So I started initially a graphic design business where I was designing websites and logos for my clients. And as I started to grow this business, I was getting a lot of people who seemed interested in what I was doing. But it took a lot of time to get those people. It almost became impossible for me to actually do the work of the things that my clients were hiring me for, designing their websites, designing their logos, all that kind of stuff, and to start marketing my business and growing my audience, getting the word out there about my business in the first place. It was like I had two jobs, it felt like. And I was overworked. I had gone from being a teacher to now doing this business that I was really passionate about, but I was working almost twice as much as I was in my previous job. And I was just exhausted. So I figured there had to be a better way. There had to be a better way to grow my business than having to work 13-hour days and do so many tasks without ever feeling like I was working on my business. I was always working in my business. So things were far from perfect. I had my own business. It was really exciting. I was doing something I was passionate about, but I was exhausted. I was getting sick all the time because I was not sleeping. I was working way too much. And I knew there had to be a better way to get people to my website, to get those clients discovering me without me having to write blog posts 5 days a week, without me having to post on social media every day, without having to do all of these things to get people to discover me. I knew there had to be a better way. So around that time, I discovered Pinterest. Now, this was 5 years ago. Pinterest wasn't really talked about at the time. I feel like I was actually one of the first people who started really talking about Pinterest because I realized how much it was helping me in my business. So I was experimenting a lot with Pinterest and how to use it strategically to get people to discover me without me having to put in hours of work per day on marketing. Now, when I started using Pinterest more strategically and experimenting on the platform, my traffic tripled within a few months. So I was getting thousands of extra page views each day from Pinterest, from people who were discovering me on Pinterest, finding my website, filling out my contact form, and hiring me as a designer without me having to do any additional work. My email list also grew rapidly. So before Pinterest, I had a couple thousand subscribers, but my list had been stagnant for almost a year because I just didn't have anyone else in my audience to sign up for my list. So I just kind of capped out at 2,000. But once I started using Pinterest and driving new traffic to my website, more people discovering me without me having to do any additional work, 1 year later, my list grew to 35,000 people. And then 1 year after that, it grew to 100,000 people, all with the traffic that was being driven to my website from Pinterest. My income also grew by 700%. So you can see there, we had our first $1 million year just about a year and a half into using Pinterest strategically for my business. So I can attest to how much Pinterest can help you in your business if you use it the right way. And that's really the key here, is you got to use it the right way, because so many people go into Pinterest thinking they know how to use it strategically for their business, because the platform's pretty intuitive. You pin things and you share articles, but that's just the tip of the iceberg, my friend. And there's so much strategy that goes into using Pinterest to actually get traffic to your website and for your business. And it's not hard, but you just need to know the right things to do to get the best results. Now, because of all that success that my business started to get, largely due to what was happening with our Pinterest strategy, I've also been able to donate and raise over $150,000 for some of my favorite charities, organizations that build schools in developing countries, animal sanctuaries here in Los Angeles, a lot of things that I'm really passionate about. So this is one of my favorite things that's come out of what I've been able to create with Pinterest, just being able to give back and make an impact. So Pinterest grew my traffic, my email list, and my income on autopilot. And yes, that is my dog over there, Monja. He is dying to come in my office to say hi to all of you, but he'll have to wait until the end. Now, for you, Pinterest might mean more time to make memories with your kids, your family, and your friends. More consistent income each month. Who would like that? Instead of having to hustle for every dollar that you make. A community that sees value in what you offer and gives your life more purpose. So whatever Pinterest might mean for you, I do have a feeling that it can impact your life in a really meaningful way. So my goal today isn't actually to teach you about Pinterest. Yeah, I know. Kind of seemed like it was, right? My goal today is actually a little different. It sounds something like this. My goal is that there is somebody out there right now whose life would be changed if only they knew that you existed. If only they knew that you existed. So I want to help that person discover your website and your work with the power of Pinterest. You with me? All right. So before we dive into some of my favorite Pinterest strategies and techniques, I want to talk about some Pinterest myths, because I feel like this platform gets a lot of people making assumptions about how you use it or what it's for that aren't actually true. So let's cover some of these myths to make sure that you understand the right things about this platform. Now, myth number one is that Pinterest is just for recipes, DIY projects, and women. It's actually not true. So virtually every niche and industry is represented. And sure, there are a lot of recipes, there are a lot of DIY projects and tutorials on Pinterest, but there's also a lot of other stuff there too. There are over 300 million users on Pinterest and almost 200 billion pins. So with that much content on Pinterest, you can bet that even if you are in a quote unquote smaller niche on Pinterest, there are still going to be hundreds of millions of pins that talk about the topics you would want to be talking about too. So there's a lot of demand for the things that you probably teach or sell online that you could translate into Pinterest. And according to Business Insider, millennials use Pinterest just as much as they use Instagram. Now, here's a little snippet of some uncommon niches that you might not expect on Pinterest but are actually quite popular. There are pins about gardening, pins about crystals, pins for equestrians, pins about CrossFit, pins for Bible study, and pretty much every spirituality you can think of, pins about business and marketing, pins about Cabo San Lucas. So the reality is, if you're not on Pinterest, your competitors will be, no matter which niche you're in. So don't let that thought hold you back that, oh, Pinterest isn't going to work for me. I can guarantee it will get you results. Now, myth number two is that Pinterest is a social media platform like Instagram and Facebook. Now, this is going to be one of the biggest head explosions for you if you haven't heard me talk about this before. But Pinterest is not a social media platform. It's a search engine. want you to think, when was the last time you were social on Pinterest? It's not the kind of place where you go and leave comments, send messages, talk about your personal life. It's quite different. So it is a search engine, the same way that Google is a search engine and YouTube is a search engine, which just means that you have to use search engine strategies. So that the most people use Pinterest the wrong way because they think of it as a social media platform, and that's why they're getting subpar results on this platform. So I'm going to teach you later on in this workshop how to use it as a search engine. What are the specific techniques and strategies you should implement to get really raving results on this platform? Now, myth number 3, Pinterest has never worked for me, so I don't think it works for people in my industry. I hear this sometimes, or some variation of it, where people assume that if they haven't gotten results on something, doing whatever strategies they thought would work, that it doesn't work for them. It's just not going to work. Well, this one's busted too. So it ain't quitting time yet, my friends, because Pinterest is an online platform. Roughly every year, they introduce some new changes. So just like Instagram or Facebook or even Google or YouTube, the algorithms change on these platforms. So it might actually be that you could be using outdated strategies. If you're just using information you found in a blog post from last year, that might be outdated today. And that might be what's leading you to have poor results on this platform. So you want to make sure that you're using the most up-to-date strategies on Pinterest and having a good source where you get this information. Because if you're just using it from somebody who decided that they know about Pinterest and is writing a blog post about it, you have no way of verifying if that's actually true or if that's just something that they kind of made up. Now, I've seen Pinterest work for over 7,000 of my Pinfinite Growth students in over 100 industries. So I know it works if you've got the right strategies. So before we dive in, here's what you're going to learn today in this workshop. First is why you're being a hoarder on Pinterest and how to become a strategic curator instead, which is going to lead to more traffic and more sales. Mistakes that you're making on your website and why they are costing you big time results, why Pinterest is far from a social media platform and how understanding this simple fact can help you skyrocket your results, how to turn that new Pinterest traffic into an exponentially growing email list for free, and how Pinterest tripled my traffic and grew my email list to 10,000 subscribers in only 4 months. You ready to do this? Let's dive in. All right. So I had to throw this picture in. I'm sorry. It's just so adorable. It's from my dog's birthday last year when he turned 6. So totally unrelated photo of my dog, but I thought it was adorable and I wanted to make your day happy. So our first step here is to become a curator, not a hoarder. Now, what does that mean? Well, a lot of people on Pinterest are hoarders. So this might sound like you, and let me know if it does. Type yes into the chat if this does sound like you, and no shame, no problem. But a lot of people will go onto Pinterest and just go on a spree, and they'll just like pin whatever sounds good. They'll pin products they're interested. They'll pin travel photos. They'll pin photos of cute animals. They'll pin tons of things that are interesting to them, but aren't necessarily interesting to the people that they're trying to attract. So instead, you need to curate things that attract your target audience, not things that you're interested in, but things that they're going to be interested in. So Pinterest is about them. It's about your audience, the people that you're trying to attract to your website, the people who are going to be the perfect fit to be your clients or your customers or your subscribers. Make sense? So you want to ask yourself, who is your ideal audience? Who is that person you're trying to attract? So I recommend that you don't define your audience as a group. When we think about it in terms of like, who's my audience, then it just seems really difficult to define them and to narrow it down into who that person might be. So instead, think of one person that you're trying to attract. This will be your focus with your blog and your business. So when you think of that one person, it actually really helps if you know somebody who is your target audience. Maybe they're a friend or a family member or somebody who's in your audience right now. But I want you to think of that person in your mind. And if you know their name, type their name into the chat. I think that'll be pretty fun. Type the name of this person into the chat who you might know in your personal life that is your target customer, client, audience member. And I want every single thing that you create to be for them, especially with your Pinterest profile. I want your Pinterest account to be curated for that one specific person. And that's actually going to help you a lot with the rest of this workshop and how you implement everything in this workshop to make sure that it's designed to attract that person. So, of course, curate your Pinterest to attract this one person. And then I have a little formula for you. So your passion, and by the way, I'm seeing people type in the name of their person, which I freaking love. That's amazing. Well done to you. So your passion and talent plus how you can help or serve people equals your focus. And yes, this is a super scientific formula, my friends, but this is real. So I want you to think about, if you're struggling to figure out like, okay, who is my audience, or what is my focus? I have a lot of things that I want to be talking about, or a lot of things I want to be selling. How do I narrow it down, Melissa? So use this formula where you think about your passion. What are you passionate about? What do you care about in this world? And then what are you talented in? What skill set do you have? What could you teach people? What could you sell that you have a talent in? Plus, how you can help or serve people. So maybe you're interested in a lot of different things, but you know that you're interested in design. You're really passionate about good design. And you're also pretty talented at designing things. You are always the person, if your friends are having a barbecue, they ask you to design the invitation. Or if you design a cover for your Facebook profile or your Instagram account or something like that, people are always telling you, gosh, you're so good at that. And can you put it into a way that can help or serve people? Yeah, you can become a designer, a web designer, a graphic designer, anything, right? So think about your different passions, your different talents, and then how you could package it up into a way that serves people. And this is going to become your focus and what you sell, what you teach, how you help people and make money and grow a community through your website and your brand. So I want you to try this if you're kind of struggling with this, or you've got a lot of things that you want to be talking about, or a lot of things you want to sell. So create 3 columns on a piece of paper labeled my passions, my talents, and how I can help people. And don't try to think of how they're connected right now. Just make 3 columns and actually write down as many things as you can think of for each column. Just unfiltered, just write them down. Now, I would recommend doing this at the end of this workshop to make sure that you don't miss anything, but do that right now. Just have 3 columns, my passions, my talents, how I can help people. And then make a list of anything that comes to mind. And then at the end, I want you to go back either with a highlighter or just using your pen and circling words. And I want you to find the intersection between those 3 columns. What do they have in common? So your passions list might have a ton of stuff on it. Maybe it has things like yoga, design, animals, veganism, whatever. Obviously, I'm listing a lot of my passions. But listing out your passions, your talents, and how you can help people, and then just finding the places where they kind of intersect together, or at least where your passions and your talents intersect together, and seeing if you can turn that into something that can help people. Can you combine your passions and your talents in a way that serves other people, and then turn that into the main focus of your brand? So I want to say it again, your focus is so important because it will set you apart. If you talk about all the things, or if you sell all the things on your website, then it's going to be really hard to attract that one ideal person that you were just thinking about a moment ago. So you need to have a focus because it's going to set you apart. And if you have a strong focus and a clear audience, then it's going to make you more memorable. It's going to make you more shareable, and it's going to make you more profitable. So you want to make sure that you've got this strong focus, you've got this clear person in mind with everything that you create for your website. And if you do that, it's just going to skyrocket your work. So I actually have somebody in my community who left a comment on my website when I talked about this before. And she said, I've had my blog for 5 years with very little growth due to a muddied focus. Then back in March, I decided to really hone in on its focus and purpose. And it has grown like quite literally 1,000% in the past few months. So I just want to share that because it's just testament to how powerful it can be if you narrow in on who that person is that you want to attract and how you can help them. So your homework is figure out where your biggest passion and talent intersects with how you can help your audience. Get specific about what you offer. And then answer this. What do I want to be the go-to hub for? What do I want to be the person for? What do I want to be known for? Whatever question resonates with you, write it down. And I want you to journal about it later. What do I want to be known for? What do I want to be the go-to hub for? And that's going to direct a lot of how you show up online too. Because if you know who you want to be and what kind of brand you want to create, what kind of impact you want to have, it's going to guide every other step in your journey, especially with Pinterest. Now, step 2 is that Pinterest is a search engine. So let's take social media platforms with search engines and kind of take a look at the difference here. So social media platforms generally are more personal content about your life, your opinions, your day-to-day, and your number of followers on a social media platform is important. Those are the people generally that are going to see your stuff. Now, what about a search engine? So, a search engine is generally informational content that helps to solve a problem for your target audience. Now, your followers are less important than your search results. So, I don't have any followers on Google, and on YouTube, it doesn't matter as much how many followers you have if you've got a good search engine strategy. And the same thing is on Pinterest. I have students in my Pinfinite Growth program who have just a few hundred or like 1,000 followers on Pinterest, but they're getting 1 million impressions on their Pinterest account because they know how to outsmart the search engine algorithm. So, very different way of using these platforms. And you want to make sure that you're using search engine strategies for Pinterest, not social media strategies. Now, what's the cornerstone of getting great traffic from a search engine? You use keywords. So you do this on Google all the time. When you type anything into that search bar on Google, those are keywords that you're typing in. And the people whose articles are ranking the highest in those search results are generally people who used search engine strategies to get their articles to rank the highest in those search results. They're not necessarily just the best articles on that topic. They're often people who know what they're doing with search engine optimization. So I want you to know what you're doing with Pinterest search optimization too, so that whenever somebody goes on Pinterest and types something into the search bar, your content pops up in those first results as well. Now, where most people go wrong is they think that pinning beautiful images is enough, that if they create a Pinterest friendly graphic, we all know it's vertical, it's got text on it, and they pin that, they think that it's going to get them traffic to their website. But unfortunately, that is just like the small part of getting great results on Pinterest. It's important for sure, but it's just a small part of getting results. So Pinterest might be a visual platform, but without keywords, no one will find your pins and website in the first place. Now, what is a keyword? Well, it's a word or phrase that someone would be searching for to find your article or your website. So it's literally that word or phrase that someone's typing into that search box on Pinterest. Now, you want to think of what kinds of keywords is my target audience searching for? So going back to step 1, who was that one person that you thought of? What was their name? What are they interested in? Why would they be searching for the topics that you talk about? And what would they be searching for? If they go onto Pinterest, what are they actually typing into the search bar? So those are the types of things that are going to become the keywords you most frequently use. Now, why are keywords important? Well, Pinterest is a search engine, as you've heard me say. So this is one of the biggest ways that your pins will be found is utilizing those keywords in your own content. Now, if your pins are found on Pinterest, they're more likely to get saves and more traffic to your website, which ultimately will result in more email subscribers and more sales for your business. So, what you want to do on Pinterest is use something called long form keywords. Now, these are generally phrases that are 3 or more words long. So, a keyword that you don't want to use is a word that's just 1 word long: fitness, health. You see what I mean? They're just really general. So you want to use long form keywords because it adds specificity to the keywords that you're targeting so that you're not competing with super general terms like skincare, or fitness, or health, like I was talking about. Now, you want to make sure that you're using these long form keywords also because the more specific you are, the more targeted the traffic is that you're going to receive to your website. Because if you just got people visiting your website, if you used a keyword like skincare, but the only thing that you talk about is skincare for people with rosacea, then most of the people who visit your website are going to be like, oh, okay, well, I was looking for acne skincare. I was looking for anti-aging skincare. So this isn't useful to me. But if you target the keywords for people who are searching for that specific thing that you are going to be helping people with, then you're going to get the right traffic to your website. People who are just going to die over what you create. Who are going to be so excited that they found the go-to hub for that thing that you talk about. So for keyword research, because you don't just want to make up the keywords that you do use, you don't want to just assume that you know what the best keywords or phrases are. There's actually some research, really easy and actually kind of fun research that you can do to find the right keywords. So ultimately, you want keywords that are specific, relevant to your business and content, and aligned with what your target audience is searching for. But how do you know what they're searching for? Well, meet Pinterest built-in keyword research tool. It actually looks a whole lot like just their regular search area. So if you go to their little search bar right here and you type in a word, that is the start of your keyword research. You type in a word, you hit enter, and now it gives you all these keyword suggestions in order of competition and popularity. So you start with your general keyword. Maybe it is fitness. Maybe it is health. That's pretty general, though. I would go a little bit more specific than that. Here I used skincare. And now it's giving me all of these additional words that Pinterest suggests adding on to my original keyword to make it more specific. So you can see all those words on the bottom, things like acne, routine, products, advertising, tips. So you can combine them with your original, more general keyword to create more targeted long form keywords like acne skincare, skincare routine, skincare products, skincare tips, anti-aging skincare, DIY skincare, natural skincare, skincare for dark spots, skincare for teens. You get the idea, right? So you also want to consider low versus high competition keywords. So that's a great strategy, what I just suggested, where you type in something a little bit more general, hit enter, see what words it suggests. But should you use the most popular one in that list, the one all the way on the left, the first one that appeared, I think it was acne skincare, should you use that one? Or should you use one that's like 20 keywords back where you have to scroll through a bunch of the suggestions it gives you? Well, here's a little formula for you. So some long form keywords are more popular and therefore have more competition. So I want to look at this in action. So when you type in your more general keyword and then hit enter and all these things pop up, and actually there's even more, you can see on the right-hand side, there's an arrow where you can scroll and see even more words it suggests. Well, the first 10 or so keywords are going to be the highest competition keywords that you can use. So if I used acne skincare, skincare routine, etc., those are going to be the highest competition keywords, the most popular. And it might seem like that's a good thing, like you should use those keywords because they are really popular. But it also means that you're going to be competing with a lot more people. And if you're just getting started on Pinterest, or if you're kind of in the intermediate stages, still growing, then those keywords might be too competitive. where maybe there are other people who are just like crushing it on Pinterest already, who are using those keywords and who at the moment you're not able to compete with. So your stuff will end up getting pushed down the feed because all these other people are already talking about that thing and who are getting great results. So those might not be the best option for you because there's such high competition. But over here, and as you scroll further to the right, those are more low or medium competition keywords. So roughly after you've scrolled through 10 to 15 keywords, then you're getting more into the low to medium competition keywords. So you got to go past about 15 of them, 10 to 15, depending on the niche. But those are more low, medium competition keywords. And those actually might be better for you if you're somebody who's still working on getting traction on Pinterest or somebody who's starting out on Pinterest, because these have less competition. So you have the opportunity now with the right strategies. And if you have the whole system in place to get great results on Pinterest, then you have the opportunity to start ranking for those keywords. So now if somebody searched for natural skincare, for example, or you can see it's kind of faded, but skincare for teens, then maybe your posts become the top posts or pins whenever somebody searches for that topic. So hopefully that makes sense because this is a really great way to get traction on Pinterest. And it's actually the same thing for any other search engine, for YouTube, for Google. You don't necessarily want to target the most popular, most competitive keywords on the planet on any search engine platform because it's just going to be too competitive. So if you've got less than 1 million monthly impressions on Pinterest, I recommend targeting those lower competition keywords. So scrolling after the first 10 to 15 and then finding the other ones after that. And then if you've got more than 1 million monthly impressions on Pinterest, you can start to target those higher competition keywords, the first 10 to 15. You can work your way up. So what I would recommend is starting with the lower, medium competition keywords. And then after you've got some traction, after your monthly impressions on Pinterest have passed 1 million monthly impressions, which isn't that hard to do if you have the right system in place, then you can start targeting those higher competition keywords. Okay, so the best place to use keywords once you've discovered the ones that you should be using is in your pin descriptions. Now, there are a few places to use them on your Pinterest account, but I'm just going to talk about your pin descriptions for now for the sake of time because they are some of the most important for you to use keywords in. So for example here, this is one of my blog posts that I pinned onto Pinterest. And then as I click on the pin and enlarge it, you can see the description that I wrote. And I added a bunch of keywords into that description. So with your pin descriptions, I recommend adding keywords and hashtags to the description, adding a few sentences that describe your pin, infusing them with important keywords and phrases that your people would be searching for, and thinking, what would your target audience be searching for in order to find your pin? So start with that question, do your keyword research, and then pick 3 to 5 of those keywords and put them into sentence format and use that as your pin description. This doesn't have to be like an editorial piece for your pin descriptions. It just needs to be basically literate. Like you have to just be able to read them as sentences and that's it. You don't have to make them super amazing because most people aren't reading your pin descriptions. This is simply for the Pinterest algorithm. So you don't have to make them super personable and amazing. Just get your keywords into those pin descriptions, write out some sentences, and you'll be good to go. So if you sell bohemian jewelry, for example, here's a pin description that I would use for this particular photo over here if I was going to be pinning that for my jewelry business, let's say. So you can see I have all the keywords that I've bolded here, like bohemian necklace, music festival outfit, handmade turquoise necklace, layering necklace, bohemian outfit. And then I have a bunch of different hashtags at the bottom as well. Now there is a way to do hashtag research too in order to find the best hashtags. And then I also put in some other keywords like Burning Man and Coachella. Those are much more general, right? They're only 1 or 2 words. But I just like to throw them in for something like this in case anybody's searching for those festivals. Or let's say that you blog about getting out of debt. So this is a blog post that I found on Pinterest, and here's a description that I would write for this particular blog post. They say, in 1 year, I paid off $20,000 of debt, and now I'm sharing the top 10 habits to help you get out of debt too. You can also see the other keywords I threw in here, like pay off debt, financial challenges, budgeting tips, and financial planning advice. And then I also put in some hashtags at the end too. So again, this doesn't have to be something where you spend hours writing your pin descriptions and making them sound beautiful. You're really just writing these descriptions to throw a bunch of keywords into them naturally, because you can't just list out your keywords. You need to put them in sentence format. All right, so when you're pinning your blog post, articles, or products, the title of your content is even more important than the keywords that you use on Pinterest. So your keywords start with the content that you create on your website, whether it's a product that you're selling or it's an article that you've written on your website, like a blog post. You need to have a good title. So ask yourself, is it optimized so that people searching for this topic will easily find your pin? And does it include keywords right inside the title that Pinterest can easily see? Because Pinterest is pulling the title of your blog posts or your products that you're pinning onto Pinterest. And you want to make sure that those titles have keywords in them too. Those are really important. So some great titles for your content are things like the number of ways to, or 7 things you should know about, or how to do, how I created, the step-by-step guide to. So you can see they all have either a list. Lists work really well, like 7 ways to, 7 things you should know about, or how to. So tutorials or step-by-step how-to things work really well on Pinterest too. So overall, of course, lists and how-to posts are very enticing, especially on Pinterest. And most importantly, your blog content should solve a problem in some way. Should solve a problem, should have a takeaway, something that you're teaching people, something that you're helping them with. So you want to make sure that all of your blog posts have that in them, something that you're helping people with. Now, if you're not a blogger and you're more of a physical product or e-commerce business, you want to have great titles for your products too. So use descriptive language that covers what it is in the title of your product, what it is, what it's used for, what are some of the applications, and what the benefits of it are. If there are specific benefits, like it's a supplement, you want to talk about what are the benefits in the title of your product. So what it is, what it's used for, what the benefits are. So for example, I found this on Etsy, and you can see the title of their product has a lot of keywords in it. Etsy is also a search engine. It's a search engine where you can buy stuff, but you can use search engine optimization on that platform as well. But you can see that they didn't just put like a layering necklace or a gold layering necklace. They put a lot of different things to tell you what it is. It's a personalized layered necklace, how you use it. So it gives you some applications like bridesmaid necklace, gift for mom, engraved bar necklace, simple layering necklace. So it's telling you all of these different ways that you can use it, so that if somebody was typing into Pinterest, simple layering necklace, they could have this pop up in their top search results simply because of the title that this person used in their product on Etsy. All right. The third and final step, step 3, is turning that traffic into subscribers and sales. Because by now you're probably going to be able to get some traffic on Pinterest. You've got your focus in place, you know who you're trying to attract. You've got some really great keyword knowledge and how to use it on the platform. Now you want to turn that traffic into something and create clear paths. So when somebody arrives on your site from Pinterest, what the heck happens next? Because you don't just want people to come to your website just to get traffic. You want them to do something. Now, ideally, you should encourage them to subscribe to your email list. This is going to be one of the best ways to get people just in your community, a lifelong fan, sticking around, reading your emails, etc. So I highly recommend using your Pinterest traffic as a way to grow your email list. Nowadays, having an email list is crucial if you want to grow an online business. So I know we hear a lot about things like Instagram or Facebook ads, but an email list is still, in my opinion, and from most, if not all of the entrepreneurs I've talked to, the best way to grow your community. But why? Why is an email list so important? Well, here are 3 reasons. First of all, you own it. So technically, you don't own your following on social media. You don't own your Instagram account. You don't own your Facebook following. You don't even own your Pinterest following, but you do own your email list, and it can't be taken from you. So I have had friends who randomly have had their Instagram account shut down. I've also had friends who have had their account hacked on social media platforms where everything was deleted. I've also had a lot of friends, including myself, who have been affected by algorithms on social media platforms. So you are basically at the mercy of these social media platforms to make sure that you're able to contact your people. I know Instagram is kind of moving away, and they've changed their algorithm recently where your posts are getting less engagement. And a lot of it is because they want you to use ads. They want you to use Instagram ads. So you want to make sure that with growing your following, you're growing it in a place that you do own, and your email list is something you own. It's not affected by algorithms or anything like that. It's literally like a spreadsheet of names and email addresses that you can contact whenever you want. It also means more sales and income. So email lists have way higher conversion rates than social media does, like way higher. So on social media, let's just use Instagram as an example. If you post something in your feed on Instagram, a good engagement rate, and this is coming directly from one of the top social media marketing agencies that I know, a good engagement rate on a piece of content in your feed on Instagram is like 2 to 3%. 2 to 3%, my friends. That's not very much, right? You've put so much effort into creating these posts, and 2 to 3% is good. And with your email list, generally, if you send an email to your list, you will get open rates of between 20 and 50%. If you are getting 2 to 3% open rates, then something is wrong. That should never happen. 20 to 50%, that's like 10 to almost 20x, right? What you get on social media. So just a lot more people are seeing and opening your emails than are even seeing your content on social media platforms. So if you post the same offering on your Instagram and in an email to the same number of people, you will get the highest percentage of buyers from your email, basically guaranteed. And lastly, your email list is more personal. So a person's inbox is like their virtual home. It really means something when they invite you into it. It also allows you to connect in a deeper way and build that tribe of lifelong fans. So I just think that because it's not public, sending an email to your email list, it's not public, it's something that they read privately. It feels like it was written just for them. It creates more of a personal community versus social media, which is still useful and helpful, and I definitely think has its merits, but it's public. It's not like you're creating something just for them. At least it doesn't feel like that, right? So it feels more personal. And people are more cautious about giving out their email address than they are about giving out their social media handle. So this is all to say that the people you attract onto your email list are people who really care about what you're creating online. So Pinterest grew my email list by 10,000 new subscribers in 4 months. Now, just a few years later, my list grew to over 200,000 subscribers with Pinterest's help. So here's what I recommend doing to grow your email list with Pinterest. So first is to add an opt-in form to the top of your website. So this is a client of mine, Elizabeth Ryder, and you can see she has right at the top of her website in her navigation menu, she has free updates, which leads to an opt-in form. She also has this little section with a photo of her and the text right here that you see that says, if you're ready to look good and feel even better the natural way, get your free copy. It's kind of covered, but of Elizabeth's 7 Secrets, a lifestyle playbook for healthy modern women. Download your copy now. So you click that or the free updates button, and you're taken to an opt-in form where you can opt in, be part of her email list, and get a free copy of her ebook. Now, this is Nicole Walters' website, and you can see right here at the top of her website, she has sign up for the Rich Friend email club. put your name and email address, and you can subscribe. So again, before you ever have to scroll down, she is asking you for your email address. And then here's Simple Green Smoothies. So they've got this 30-day green smoothie challenge at the top of their website. If you click on that button, it's going to take you to this opt-in form where you can opt in to be part of the challenge that they're creating. And of course, you have to give them your name and email address to be part of it. So all of these people are putting an opt-in form right in the top header of their website to collect email addresses. Now, for my own case study, adding an opt-in form to the header of my website doubled the amount of daily subscribers that I received. Literally overnight, doubled. So I was just thinking before I did that, how many people had been visiting my website that just didn't know that I had an opt-in form. And then as soon as I put it in the header of my website, suddenly all these people were subscribing because now they're just seeing the opt-in form that was there all along, just kind of more hidden in other parts of my website. I also made my messaging much more clear. So that first step that we talked about where you want to really hone in on what your focus is and who your target audience is, that one person you want to help. Well, I got really clear on who that person is and how I can help them. And I added that to my opt-in form too. So new visitors know what I'm all about and they immediately see my opt-in forms when they come visit my website from Pinterest. You can also do individual incentives for blog posts. So you could create new freebies, new opt-in incentives like the Green Smoothie Challenge or the ebook that Elizabeth Ryder had on her website. You could create new incentives for every new piece of content that you have on your website, every new blog post, every new YouTube video or podcast episode. Or you could just create one incentive for each category of content. So maybe there are like 3 main big topics that you talk about, or even one main big topic. You could just create one opt-in incentive for each category and then just insert an opt-in form that leads to that lead magnet or opt-in incentive into the blog posts that are part of that category on your website. That'll work really well too. So for example, let's just say that somebody sees this pin in their feed and clicks on it. So this is a pin from my website. Let's say that they see that and they click on it. You can actually see here on the pin, I say free cheat sheet, and I have a little arrow and a graphic of this freebie that they're going to get. They click on it, they come to my website, and then it leads to a blog post with an opt-in form and a freebie. So you see that right there in the middle of my blog post. If they click on that, then ultimately they get a freebie and you get an email address. So all they have to do now is just enter their name and email and they will be part of my community, and I'm going to give them that PDF, that freebie, that free opt-in incentive. So once you have some subscribers, then what? What do you do with these new people who are in your community? Well, remember, these people are your biggest fans. Make sure to stay in touch with them. And when you have a sale, a launch, or you just want to make some cash, you can also send an email to your subscribers letting them know about your products. So I recommend sending weekly emails to your subscribers. And if you really don't have the time for that, every 2 weeks might work too. But most of your emails that you send to them will just be valuable. They'll just be valuable information that you're going to be sending to them. But then when you do have something for sale, you can tell them about that thing too. And you are much more likely to make sales from that email than you are from posting about it on social media. Now, for me personally, 82% of my company's income comes from sales made through our email list. So a vast majority. Now, remember, your goal on Pinterest isn't just to get people to your website. We don't just want a bunch of traffic that pieces out after they're done reading your article or looking at your products. Traffic is great, but it's what you do with that traffic that counts. And ultimately, what I recommend doing is having them sign up for your email list and then using that to grow a community and ultimately make sales of your products and services. So here is how your Pinterest system all works together. So you use Pinterest to get free traffic to your website. Those new visitors subscribe to your email list, and those subscribers turn into a community and income for you and your business. But now you might be asking, well, what about things like Tailwind, which is a Pinterest scheduler, or how to design viral pins, or which hashtags to use? And what about more detailed Pinterest SEO, search engine optimization? Or how do I schedule and automate my Pinterest marketing so I can do it in a matter of minutes and not hours? Or where can I find a trusted place to learn about any new updates to the Pinterest platform so that I'm not left in the dust when something changes? Well, don't worry, I've got answers for you. Now, remember, you can majorly increase your traffic and audience in a matter of weeks or months if you use Pinterest strategically. And for 2 years, my email list was completely stagnant. It wasn't growing. But now, thanks to Pinterest, it's growing by thousands of new subscribers per month. Remember that my proven methods are things that anyone in any industry, business, or blog can implement. And there's still so much more to teach you if you want the fastest growth possible. So I want to introduce you to Pinfinite Growth. Pinfinite Growth is a step-by-step formula and online program that shows you exactly how to radically and quickly get more traffic and subscribers. So this is a comment in our Pinfinite Growth Facebook group from one of my students, Mitra, and she says, it's been almost 6 months since I've joined Pinfinite Growth, and I can't put into words how much this has helped my blog. She goes on to say, joining Melissa's courses have been one of the smartest decisions I've taken in my life. So if you're interested in joining Pinfinite Growth, this is what you want to do right now. There should be a button on your screen that looks a little something like this. Just click on that button and it will take you to our Pinfinite Growth enrollment page where you can learn more about the program and enroll. Now, I believe in this program so much that I'm going to give you a full month to go through the course and all of the bonuses. Yes, there are bonuses that I'm going to tell you about in just a second, risk-free. So if you don't love the program, if you're not seeing results, we will give you a full refund. No hassle, no problem. Now, what makes Pinfinite Growth different from other Pinterest courses? Well, you might be asking, why is Pinfinite Growth different? What makes it special compared to other Pinterest courses out there that exist? Well, Pinfinite Growth has almost 8,000 students that have gone through this program, which means that I have a lot of data to pull from. I have a lot of students who have told me what works and what doesn't work for them using my strategies. I've got a lot of case studies to pull from to revamp the course and to make sure that it's always on par with the things that are working right now for this platform. It also means that there's a huge community to get advice from. I don't know any other Pinterest course on the planet that has as many students in our community Facebook group as we do. We have over 4,000 people in that group, which is just a great way for you to get more feedback and advice from other Pinterest fanatics out there. What also makes it different is that I work one-on-one with top entrepreneurs in my Pinterest marketing agency, which means that I am on the ground working with people in a one-on-one capacity to test new strategies, to see what works, to work really closely with people in a wide range of different industries and niches to make sure that what's in this program, what's in this course is the most up-to-date and the most beneficial. So I'm always testing and experimenting with new things on Pinterest with my clients, with the data from my students, and I'm adding it back into Pinfinite Growth whenever I have something new to share. I also have direct contacts at Pinterest and Tailwind to ask about algorithm changes, best practices, etc. And there are frequent updates to the course with the latest changes from the platform. And the latest ones were actually made this month, June 2019. So you know that you are getting the most up-to-date information about how to use Pinterest strategically. Now, here's what you're going to get inside Pinfinite Growth. Well, you're going to get 8 step-by-step course modules talking all about things from getting clarity on your niche and target audience for the best results, how to completely optimize your profile, your boards, and pins with Pinterest SEO, how to get traffic even with no followers with group boards and Tailwind tribes, my personal pinning schedule, step-by-step. This is actually a brand new part of the course, my personal pinning schedule, and students have already been falling in love with it. How to schedule and automate your Pinterest account in minutes per week, how to use Pinterest to grow your email list and your sales, how to get your pins to show up first for your followers, and how to design viral pins that attract the most traffic to your website. So this is just like a smidgen of everything that I'm going to be teaching you inside of Pinfinite Growth. There is so much more to be had inside of the program. We also have bi-weekly mastermind calls with our community coaches. Now, these are totally optional, but they're so fun. You get to meet other people who are starting businesses, who are creative, who love using Pinterest to grow and skyrocket their own content and business, and just brainstorm and talk about the latest strategies with everybody. They're super fun. You've got the downloadable course workbooks. This is something you could fill out online. You could also print it out and just fill it out with a pen and paper too. So the workbook is a great supplement to the course. And of course, you have lifetime access to all class materials with regular updates. So it was just updated in June 2019, like I mentioned. And of course, my entire step-by-step system that's trusted by almost 8,000 students. Now, these are a couple comments from some students who recently went through all of the updates I made to the course. And Marissa said, I just want to say, I just checked out some of the updated lessons, and the lesson about Melissa's personal pin routine and the spreadsheet is gold. Already started using the spreadsheet and planning my pins in a new way. And then Sandra said, the new updates are fantastic. I understood some things in a new way that I've never quite gotten before. I think it will make a big difference for me. So already some great feedback from students who are loving the new updates to the course that I just made about a week ago. Now, by the end of Pinfinite Growth, you will have consistent, organic, meaning free traffic coming to your site on autopilot. You will have new subscribers signing up for your list on a daily basis, and you will have the foundation for a seriously profitable, successful, and fun business or blog. I want to introduce you to a few of my students who have used the Pinfinite Growth system to get some pretty fantastic results. So this is Christina and Christelle. They are sustainability teachers. So they went from 22,000 to 1 million monthly viewers on Pinterest, 22,000 to 1 million after going through the Pinfinite Growth system. And now they say that they are one of the leaders in zero waste and sustainability on Pinterest, some of the top articles and information that pops up whenever anybody searches for those topics on Pinterest. This is Marlon. She's a bilingual virtual assistant, and she went from 100 to 12,000 page views on her website in a few months using Pinterest. And now her traffic averages 800 to 1,000 users per day coming from the platform. This is Kayla. Now, she saw her stats increase from day one. She said, almost immediately, I saw my stats starting to grow after implementing this system. She had a pin go viral with less than 20 blog posts on her website. She said it brought in a tidal wave of traffic. And she said that you start seeing progress almost immediately with this system. This is Celine. She said in 30 days, her engagement on Pinterest increased by almost 15x. So in 30 days, almost 15x, her engagement started increasing. Then in the first month, her traffic to her website tripled. And then within 8 weeks of using the Pinfinite Growth system, her traffic grew by 6x, and she's getting consistent subscribers and seeing a boost in her online sales too. Now, I have a few bonuses that I want to give you just for signing up for this program, just free stuff that I want to throw in to just make it even easier for you to get the fastest results possible on Pinterest. So bonus number 1 is your Pinfinite system checklist, which has step-by-step every single thing that you need to do on Pinterest to get great results. So anybody who is like the left brain, or is it right brain actually, side of your brain, anybody who's like more of a logical, systematic thinker, this is going to make it so easy for you. And Dina, one of our students, actually said, my left brain logical mind is loving Melissa's new checklist. So I'm so glad people are loving it. Now, bonus number 2 is professionally designed viral pin templates. So I brought in my personal designer who designs all of the stuff for my website. And I had her design some really gorgeous pin templates that you can use. You just plug in your own title, put in maybe your own photo. change any colors you want, but the design is there and you can kind of see them here in this graphic, but they are gorgeous and they're designed to go viral on Pinterest, designed to get you the best results on this platform. I'm actually just staring at them now and like falling in love. They're so beautiful. But if you are not a designer, but you do want to make sure that you have beautiful graphics on the platform, these templates are going to change your game. Bonus number 3 is a bonus workshop about how to maximize your Pinterest traffic with promoted pins. So I brought in a promoted pins expert, Alyssa Meredith, and she's teaching us all about how to use promoted pins in this bonus workshop. Another bonus workshop is the ultimate guide to growing your traffic on Google. So you've heard me talk about how Google is a search engine. It is a fantastic way to also get traffic to your website. So if you use Pinterest and Google in tandem together, the results that you can get are pretty phenomenal. So this bonus can change your life if you use it with Pinfinite Growth. So it's the ultimate guide to growing your traffic with Google. And then bonus number 5 is another workshop, getting the most out of Tailwind Tribes and SmartLoop. So Tailwind has some really awesome features. Tailwind's my favorite Pinterest scheduler. It's got some really amazing features like Tailwind Tribes and SmartLoop. We talk about these inside of Pinfinite Growth, but I brought in some experts to come in and talk even more about these topics straight from Tailwind. So they're giving you the lay of the land on how to use these features and how to be strategic and how you use them too. Bonus number 6 is 3 free months of the #1 Pinterest scheduler, Tailwind. This is what I use and what we use for all of our clients too. So Tailwind is a fantastic scheduler and you will get 3 free months of this software. And I talk about how to use Tailwind inside of Pinfinite Growth too. So you've got all the ins and outs of how to use this product as well. And then bonus number 7 is private student Facebook community. So you will get access to our Pinfinite Growth Mastermind for students. There are over 4,000 members inside of this community and tons of engagement. If you ask a question, then either myself, one of our community coaches, or another student will pop in and answer it for you to make sure that you've always got the most up-to-date information. But I want to reward you for showing up to this webinar live. So if you enroll before this webinar ends, then I'm actually going to throw in another bonus for free. Now, I like to call this the fast action bonus. Now, this is going to be your custom Pinterest audit and laser coaching. And again, this bonus is only available if you purchase live on this webinar. So before we sign off today, you got to purchase and you're going to get this bonus. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some group calls and do Pinterest audits and laser coaching sessions where either myself or someone from our community coaching team is going to actually look at your profile and your pins and give you personalized feedback on how you're pinning, what your pins look like, what keywords you're targeting, and to make sure that you are optimizing your Pinterest in the best way possible and to give you really targeted feedback on what you could do differently to get even better results. So pretty exciting, but you do have to sign up before this workshop ends in order to get this fast action bonus. Now, the total value of the Pinfinite Growth program and all of the bonuses is roughly $2,500. So that I know is a pretty penny for a lot of people to pay that amount of money to get all of these things. Now, I know that it's worth all of this and more for what you're going to get out of this program, but you can actually get started today and get all of the bonuses, get the entire program for only $97, followed by 4 more monthly payments of $97. But you'll get everything today after making your first payment of $97. So again, here's what to do. You'll find this button on your page where you can just click to check out Pinfinite Growth and to sign up for the program where you're going to get all of those bonuses. Now, it does say that it's open until June 20th, but do make sure to sign up before the end of this workshop, before we sign off, in order to get that custom Pinterest laser coaching bonus as well. Now, again, we've got a 30-day money back guarantee. So you can go through this program, test out my strategies, and have no fear about getting a refund if that is something you desire. Now, I've had successful students go through Pinfinite Growth who are coaches, course creators, designers, nutritionists, fashion bloggers, Etsy shop owners, artists, jewelry designers, business strategists, developers, budget bloggers, mom bloggers, virtual assistants, pet bloggers, and so much more. Basically, whatever kind of business or blog you have, I know that you can get results from Pinterest. I've been doing this for 4 to 5 years teaching Pinterest. So I've seen people in the most obscure niches get fantastic results on this platform. So don't let that hold you back. So if you want to get more visitors and traffic to your site, quickly grow your number of email subscribers, and get more sales with less effort, then I'll see you inside Pinfinite Growth. Now, here's everything that you get when you enroll now in the program. So you can see a list of all of those different bonuses, as well, of course, as the Pinfinite Growth program. And then, of course, you're going to get that fast action bonus, the custom Pinterest laser coaching. So I am going to do some Q&A right now. I'm going to start the timer here. And for the next 15 minutes, I am going to do some Q&A, answer any questions you might have. So I do see a question from Craig who says, can I buy this today but not start it until later? Yes, absolutely. You've got lifetime access to the program. So as long as this program is around, you will have access to the entire course. So I have students who bought the course. I actually had somebody in our Facebook group who just commented today and said, I bought this a few years ago, but I haven't had time to start it until now. Do I still have access to the course? And we were like, yeah, of course. So yes, absolutely. You don't need to start it right now. You can start it tomorrow or in 2 years, whatever makes the most sense for you. Okay. So Lisa says, how long is the course? Great question. So the actual course content is about 5 hours of strategy, system, and content that you would go through. Then we have some bonuses that you might want to watch in order to get even deeper information about certain topics. So those bonuses are a few extra hours, about I would say 3 extra hours of content, 2 to 3 extra. So all together, if you want to watch all of that, it would probably be about 7 to 8 hours of content. But for the main stuff that you really need to watch and implement, it's about 5 hours of content. So it's something that you could binge watch in a day if you want to, and then just start implementing everything after that, or spend a weekend and just make it your Pinfinite Growth weekend and watch the program and just implement everything the next day. Whatever you want to do, totally fine. So Evelyn says, are the design templates in Illustrator? I believe the design templates are in Adobe Photoshop. So you would need Adobe Photoshop in order to edit those. So Maddie says, I am a singer-songwriter. How do you think Pinterest could be used with music in mind as opposed to a tangible product? So a really cool thing that Pinterest came out with in the last 6 months is video pins. So you can actually upload videos as your pin, not like it links to a video, it like is a video. So what I would do is create pins that are almost like mini music videos, or even just videos of you singing, or have your lyrics in the video. It's almost like kind of like a sing along, not really, but where they can kind of see some of the beautiful lyrics that you're probably writing. Or you could just do a video of you playing your song. I'm not sure what instrument you use, but maybe it's guitar. Have somebody record you and turn those into small video clips that you can upload to Pinterest. So what I would do is just make short video clips that are like 15 to 20 seconds long and have them link to the full song somewhere else. So at the end of the video that you create on that clip, and you make it vertical, just like you do with all your other pins, at the end of that clip, I would put something that says like, for the rest of the song, or to listen to the entire song for free, go to, or like click on this pin, and then it'll take you to the website where your songs are uploaded. That would be really cool. I think that would work super well for you. And then of course you still want to use keywords and all that kind of stuff in your descriptions. Okay. Jen says, how do I know if I get the fast action bonus if I sign up right now? If you sign up right now, you will get the fast action bonus. It's not like a lottery. It's like anybody who signs up before the workshop is over is going to get that fast action bonus. So consider it done. You probably won't hear about it right away though. So you will get an email about it in the coming weeks to schedule the call and let you know when that call is going to be. Oh, that's amazing. Marie said, I purchased Pinfinite Growth recently, but I've not started it yet as I was finishing other courses and I wanted to be able to really focus on it. So I decided to go through the bonus course that she got previously called Content Boss because I thought it would be light and wouldn't require too much focus. Holy cow, it is absolutely full of great information. So I can't help but believe that Pinfinite Growth is going to be absolutely amazing. And I will start working on it next week. Marie, thank you. That made my day. I'm so glad that you like that bonus course that you got. I like to put a lot into my programs, not too much, but I really do like to give as much as I can to make sure that my students get the best results. So I'm glad that you saw that. Okay. So Owana says, what is your agency name or link? So the agency name, Pinterest marketing agency that I have is called Pinfinity. Very similar. We wonder where I got that name from. But it's called Pinfinity, and we work one-on-one with entrepreneurs and businesses and bloggers who want to grow their Pinterest traffic. So I will tell you that we work on a monthly retainer with clients in that agency. And for 1 month of working with us one-on-one, it costs more than the entire Pinfinite Growth program. So for 1 month. So it's something that is an investment, which is why I highly recommend starting with Pinfinite Growth unless you're ready to work one-on-one with an agency like that. But I've put all of my info on Pinterest marketing into this program, and you can get it for less than what 1 month of working with us one-on-one costs. Okay. So Jace says, do you recommend writing descriptions in sentence format? For example, helping women improve mental health in areas of anger, depression, and anxiety, or in list format, like women, comma, improve mental health, comma, anger, comma, depression. Got it. And does this apply to both pins and boards? So definitely you want to use it in sentence format versus listing out your keywords. It used to be maybe a couple years ago where you could just list out your keywords separated by a comma in your pin descriptions, and that was fine. Now you actually do have to put them into sentence format. And just to be clear on the sentence that you gave, helping women improve mental health in areas of anger, depression, and anxiety. You want to make sure that you're adding keywords into that sentence too. So I'm sure that was just an example sentence, but listing out something like anger, depression, and anxiety wouldn't be specific enough for the types of people that you're trying to attract. So you just want to get a little bit more specific with your keywords, but yes, put them into sentence format and then use those sentences in your pin description, your board descriptions. And then for your board titles, those are going to be more like just a few words. It's going to be one keyword or phrase. It's not going to be in sentence format. So for your board titles, just keep them as like a keyword or phrase. Okay, great question. So Karen says, Hi, Melissa. My target is successful, career-driven women who have been working for at least 10 years and want to do something new and more fulfilling. I love that, by the way. That's amazing. Now, this is a pretty broad audience, she says. As a result, lots of people are curious about what I do and enjoy my content, but those who actually sign up and become one on one clients usually do so because of an incident that occurs in their life that leaves them questioning what they're doing. Do you recommend speaking to the broader audience or focusing on the latter? I feel like you almost answered your question in the question because you said that those who actually sign up and become one on one clients usually do so because of an incident that occurs in their life. So I would definitely start speaking more to those people. If you've got a sense of who tends to sign up as your client, who you end up impacting the most, I would start targeting more of your content and your Pinterest strategy to attract those people specifically. And what actually happens is that when you go specific, and you really target a specific type of person and you are more focused on who you're trying to attract, you're going to become known for helping those people. And I've heard it described as like when you're breaking through a wall, you don't want to have force like everywhere because you're not going to be able to break through the wall as easily. But if you put all of your energy into one spot on the wall, you're going to be able to crack through that wall a little bit more easily than if you tried to put all of your force everywhere on the wall. So it's kind of the same as if you had this broad or more focused perspective. But then when you crack through the wall, then you can be more broad again. So once you become known for helping those specific types of people, Karen, then you can actually start to broaden your niche and what you talk about to include those other people in the future, if that's something you're interested in. Okay. Let's see here. So Amanda says, in your pin description example, you started the description with the title that is written on the pin itself. Is this recommended? Not necessarily. You don't have to do it that way. Sometimes I do that and sometimes I don't. But that was more of like me testing different ways of writing description. So you really can just put your sentences into your pin description and you don't have to put the title of your content since Pinterest is already pulling that title from the title itself on your website. So Christina says, if you have two audiences, which one do you focus on? I do workshops for parents and teachers. Do you do this for both audiences or would you recommend focusing on one? So really it depends. So if you have two audiences, which one do you focus on? Well, for some people, that might mean creating two separate Pinterest accounts if they're very different, there's no overlap. If there is overlap for the workshops that you do for parents and teachers, you might be able to get away with just one Pinterest. And what you could also do is in your pin profile area where you can write some sentences about what your profile is all about, what your business is all about, you can link to a page that talks about those two different things that you teach and gets them to sign up as either a parent or a teacher. So that's what I would do first of all. And then second is you could pin things if there is some overlap between the parents and teachers. You could pin things that are geared towards one or the other and just make sure that your description and your keywords that you're using are geared towards one or the other of those two people. Yeah, that's what I would do with that. It sounds like there is overlap, so that's why I'm thinking you would keep it on one account. Okay. All right. So someone asked, is it preferred for your Pinterest account to be listed as your name, for example, Rachel Smith, or your business name, for example, Allstate? So it really depends. If you go by your business name, like for me, for example, I go by my name in the courses that I teach and what I do online. So on Pinterest, it's just my name. If I had my graphic design agency, for example, and we went by the agency name, I would probably put that agency name as my name on Pinterest rather than my personal name. There are some exceptions to that, but generally that's what I would do. And then should your personal Pinterest account be used for business or should you make a separate account? I use the same one for my business account and my personal account, but I just have secret boards where I put my personal pins onto. So if I have anything that I want to pin that's not really relevant to my audience, I'll create a secret board and I'll pin it onto there, which is actually really nice because then you can create your personal Pinterest stuff secretly and then your public Pinterest stuff for your audience. Great questions. So, I know we're running out of time here. I do want to welcome some brand new faces into Pinfinite Growth. So welcome to Kristen, Jennifer, Bethany, Elaine. Welcome to Laura and Anthony. Welcome Celine, Catherine. Hello to Jennifer and Miguel and Zendi and everyone else who's been signing up for Pinfinite Growth. Welcome to the program. I'm so excited to have you as part of this community. I literally have no doubts that you are going to love it, love the bonuses, love the community that we have on Facebook, and just get so much out of using the system. So I'm excited for you. And then let's see. So we're basically out of time right now. I do want to just go right back over the bonuses real quick just to make sure that you're super clear on everything that you're getting when you enroll. So when you enroll, you obviously get the entire Pinfinite Growth system, which is an online course. We've got videos. We have different templates, spreadsheets, a workbook that you get with it, lifetime access to any updates. You can start it whenever you want. And then of course you also get all of these bonuses. So the Pinterest system checklist, the pro-designed viral pin templates, the promoted pins, Pinterest ads workshop, the growing your traffic on Google workshop, getting the most out of Tailwind Tribes and Smart Loop workshop. So all these bonus workshops, 3 free months of Tailwind, and then access to our private student Facebook community with over 4,000 members, where we also hold bi-weekly community coaching calls. And then of course, if you enroll before we sign off in just a moment, you're also going to be invited to do a custom Pinterest laser coaching session with our Pinterest strategist. So very exciting. So I'm actually going to stop sharing my screen here and just come back to wrap it up with you. And let's see. There we go. And just to answer Lisa's question before we sign off, she said, is laser coaching still useful at the early stages if you don't yet have an active Pinterest account? Great question. So we're actually not going to do these laser coaching sessions right away. We want to give you some time to actually go through the program. So we'll start doing those in about 2 to 3 months once you've gone through the entire program, implemented everything in Pinfinite Growth, and then started getting some traction, because it's not going to be as helpful to you if you do a laser coaching session now, because most of the suggestions we would give you are inside of Pinfinite Growth already. So go through the program, implement, and then it will be more of those like little tweaks that are going to make the biggest difference down the line. So if you are brand new to Pinterest, that's completely fine, because in 2 to 3 months, you're going to be set up like a pro and you're going to have so much going for you on this platform. But great question to Lisa. All right, my friends. So we are all out of time. I want to thank you for joining me today. I know it's a Tuesday morning and you spend an hour and a half of your time with me hanging out online, learning about Pinterest. So I just want to give you like a little kudos and slow clap for you for just carving out time for your education, for learning, for growing as an entrepreneur, blogger, business owner, and getting the latest information about how to grow. So I'm proud of you. I'm grateful for you. And thank you so much for being here today with me and being on this broadcast. For everyone who joined Pinfinite Growth, I am thrilled to have you inside this program. And if you didn't join, then I hope you still got a lot out of this free presentation today. So I will see you guys very soon and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.